Welcome to Heel Heat. I'm Gary Rhodes. This is my tag team partner, Crash Hawley.
George Coles, that is.
And we're opening up. This is our TNA show for the week. And we're going to open up with a giant spoiler alert.
Spoiler of the week, if you've seen the first video the Aces and Eights put out, and all the others they put out during the night, it's obviously being led by Ole Anderson, circa 1991 Black Scorpion era.
Shockmaster?
Same guy.
Whatever, fine.
But, you know, they obviously borrowed that gimmick or stole the
Sting.
1986 Sting, California.
Next thing you know, RoboCop will be part of the Aces and Eights.
Ooh, that would put asses in seats.
Hey.
Well, you know, speaking of bringing in outside talent, our question of the week last week for our TNA show is, what current athlete would be a good heel? Now, before we get into our selections, let's get into the selections of our friends and fans. First off, we had Paul from over at the Deadly Sins. He gave Jared Allen of the Minnesota Vikings a pretty solid selection. Decent character, does a lot of goofy shit, has his sack dance he does. I think a good selection, decent sized guy. He would obviously fit into the wrestling world. What do you think about that one?
I would go with that one.
Then we got our friend Justin Jackson, who actually gave us the music for the beginning of the show. He said Albert Hainsworth, which another large man, kind of a Mark Henry. I could see him working as a Mark Henry gimmick.
Would you? Everybody gonna get their ass whooped?
Somebody's gonna get their ass kicked.
Someone's gonna get their wig split. 3-6 Mafia style on this bitch.
That's right. And then we got from a Twitter follower, Gator the Pimp. Love the name Gator.
Gator ain't about no bullshit.
He gave us Roger Federer, who I think could work as a cocky heel. I see him more being a manager because he doesn't have quite the size, but I could see him working as a cocky heel. You know, he's won multiple championships. And then another one of our Twitter followers and friends, Otto Von Fox, actually gave us 3 selections. He gave us Tim Tebow.
What would Jesus say, Otto?
Which could be funny. They could play the ultra-religious, you know, I'm better than now, holier than now. He gave James Harrison from the Steelers. Another great selection. He's been suspended several times. He's known as a bad boy, so it fits very well. And Meta World Peace, which out of the selections that we've had, no disrespect in anybody else, I like that one the best, personally. I think, you know, it works. He's got the whole background with the Malice in the Palace, with the fighting when he was in Detroit. He's got a good wrestling name, Meta World Peace. Who can't get? I mean, that's fits wrestling perfectly.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good. But then going into it, what do you think? Who do you think would make a good one?
Michael Phelps, the next Kurt Angle right there. What else is he gonna do? I mean, hell, he's done swimming.
He could smoke weed with the X-Pac every day.
Yeah, 420, buddy.
Road
Dogg's there too. Oh well, Ray. No, because he won't be in swimming shape if he's a little Ray Ray. You see what happened to Ray Ray.
Yeah, that's because Ray Ray been hanging out with Paul.
Since it's a TNA show, it'd be Jeff Hardy. I think that's the one to be hanging out with right there. He's probably got the best dope.
I don't know. RVD is on TNA.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's got some good dope.
Well, I'm sure they're probably the same dealer.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, no knocking guys. I like RVD, not Jeff Hardy, but I like RVD.
My selection, I think it would be, it's along the lines of another cocky, arrogant heel. I would pick Tom Brady. I think he'd be perfect. He's a good-looking guy.
Like another Kurt Angle, kind of coming in.
Sort of like
my milk.
Kind of an Alberto Del Rio. I'm better than you. I've won all these championships. I got a supermodel for a wife. I'm rich. I'm better looking than you. I'm on the cover of GQ. I think I like him as that kind of a heel, and that would be my pick personally.
That's a good pick.
And then coming off of that, we thank you for all your submissions. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you contributing to our show. Next week's question of the week is, do you want me to take this one?
I'll let you take this one.
Okay.
I'm fighting a sneeze and I really don't want
to. Anyway, the next question of the week, we got 2 guys from the original ECW, one promotion that's already starting and another one that's starting soon. Who do you think's promotion's going to run better? Shane Douglas's Extreme Rising or Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore?
House of Horrors?
That would be awesome.
I would go there.
Tommy Dreamer's House of Horrors?
Yeah, probably.
What's he got? Beulah and Francine?
That's about it.
Maybe Kimona?
Ooh.
Dang it. But you got both of these guys are both starting up promotions. Extreme Rising's already ran a few shows. Tommy's first show, I think they have Edge going to be there signing autographs.
Well, the thing is, with Tommy, you know Vince is going to give him a little bit of a hand. I'm sure he's not going to, like, hinder anything like he probably would for Shane.
No.
So I think he'd have, some more names there than...
Plus, Tommy helped book in the original ECW.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Shane, no knocking, the guy's got a great wrestling mind. He's a great talent, just a little bit bitter at times, but...
Well, like I said, that last interview I saw him in, he was very upfront. He didn't really act like he had any grudges. He was just sitting there shooting the shit.
Yeah. And, both of them, basically they're running their promotions, piggybacking off of the history, off of the name of ECW. Which, speaking of that, since this is a TNA and other show, another guy that's been piggybacking off the name is Garrett Bischoff. I mean,
I'm not a big fan. I'm sorry. He's plain. Just plain. They put him with Devon. They're trying to, give him a little bit of star quality push, which Devon's not going to help him none either. I mean, and nothing against Devon, but they could put him with Hulk Hogan and he'd go out there and he's still going to suck.
Well, he was with Hulk Hogan at one point.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's still going to suck.
Yeah. The kid is horrible. He makes David Flair look like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it makes him look like a viable competitor.
And if his dad wasn't running things backstage, the kid would not be on TV. He is horrible.
No mic skills.
Nothing.
In-ring ability is shot.
No talent.
You don't know how to hit his marks.
No. He botches a lot, more than Sin Cara.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, that is saying a lot. The kid, he's just brutal in there. And I hope he gets better, maybe 2-3 years down the road. I hope it's not another Eric Watts or David Flair or any of these.
Towards the end of it, I was liking David Flair. The whole crowbar angle, stuff like that.
When he went crazy?
Crazy David and Daphne and stuff. It worked out good for him to get a tag title run and everything like that. They did pretty good. I just don't see nothing out of Garrett. He's too plain.
No, there's nothing special about him. He's got a good white trash look though.
No, he does.
But then then off of that you got the good parts of the night. We had AJ versus Angle.
Solid match.
A really good television match. I would say the best wrestling match on TV this week, bar none.
I would go.
Better than Ray and Punk, better than Cena and Bryan. I think it's the best wrestling match they've showed on TV this week. The two guys, probably the two best workers in TNA right now, as far as in-ring wise. Yeah. But phenomenal match. They gave them a good amount of time. They worked well together. They always do work well together.
Oh, they do. I haven't seen them put a sloppy match on.
No, I mean, Kurt Angle, if you were to rank the top 5 wrestlers in the business, Kurt's got to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Bar none.
I mean, if you just rate him as an athlete, he's in the top 5. He's just that good. He's an awesome competitor. And he, as old as he gets, the better he gets.
Yeah, because he's learning more.
Exactly.
He did come into wrestling late.
Well, he's a student of the game. You know what I'm saying?
He's a student of Triple H?
No. He just gets better with age. It's just, when you seen him when he first came in, he was solid. He might botch a move here or there, but nothing major.
He did get choked out.
He also broke a few arms.
Yeah.
But, as he's gotten older, he's gotten better. And his strengths he's worked on, even his weaknesses he's worked on.
And he hits a moonsault good now, which he used to not be able to do without botching.
Or breaking hardcore hollies.
And then, you go after the match, the continuing of the stuff with Claire Lynch. She is such a horrible actor that the gimmick is not getting over. The angle is not getting over.
I think better actresses than pornos.
No one gives a shit about her. They're caking on the makeup better and better every week, which is a plus. She looks better every week, but
she says the crow feet are on her mouth, or whatever you call that shit. But yeah,
I mean, I don't know where they got this girl from, but she's a horrible actor. There's no believability in what she's saying. She can't cry worth a fuck. I mean, I can make a forced cry better than that, and I don't have any goddamn feelings.
He doesn't.
But, you know, it's...
I know what you were probably waiting for.
What was that, GR?
Gene Snitsky.
That would be the best payoff if they could get Jaden Snitsky to come in and bump her.
Yes.
And then they'd lose a baby, and what would the line be?
It wasn't my responsibility, because you can't use my fault, you know, because I'm sure Vince owns it. I mean, it wasn't my problem. It wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think it's a shitty gimmick. They should just drop it now. It killed 20 minutes of my night.
Well, I mean, with the recaps and everything, they go over that, and it's bad. And you can see where it's going. It's going to be Kaz or Daniels, if she's even pregnant at all. It'd be funny if she gave birth to a foot, like the opposite of
the hand. Yeah.
And then 15 years from now, on the 1000th episode, not TNA, even that far.
What are you talking about?
The 15th episode of TNA.
Well, what did you think about the contract signing?
It's solid. It's the same thing we've seen 1,000 times over, though. We've seen contract signings. They all end up with the table getting flipped over, with the heel throwing water on the face.
Yeah, it just... They're making too much for the aces and eights, that thing, you know, the whole... Instead of building up for the title match at that point. We'll get into them later on, but, you know, the whole, well, the aces and eights could come out, they're all looking around for him and all this bullshit. But you're neglecting to talk about the number one position in the company. Actually, number one and number two right now, because he's number one contender is the number two spot. And you're really just kind of shitting on them, and it didn't make sense. I would have just kept it, ignored the whole Ace and H thing, and had Steen call him out later on.
Yeah, had it be a separate segment.
Exactly. Give the title its due. That's the problem with a lot of these federations now, is they're not giving the top belt top billing.
Right. You're right there, Sam. I mean, you got it where you got...
Cross it Indian style. All right, let's go. All right, Jerry.
I mean, you got, and you're dead on about it, and it's a belt that means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things, but still, it should be the most important thing on the show.
Exactly.
It used to be the shows were built around Shawn Michaels chasing for his first belt. You know, that was compelling. Eddie Guerrero chasing for the belt. Mm-hmm. John Cena's rise to get to the belt.
Yeah.
CM Punk cashing in Money in the Bank for the belt. I mean, it's AJ Styles' run.
Exactly.
Samoa Joe's unbeaten run was...
The thing is, you had the number 3 guy, I would say right now, is Samoa Joe.
Right.
And they just gave him that little bit of time for that interview.
What a hell of a promo.
It was an awesome promo.
Samoa Joe, man, a guy that's always been impressive to me. One of my favorites personally.
I wonder why. Yeah.
But you know, I think he's a great wrestler.
Mark.
I think he's a great worker. I love Samoa Joe, and he got one hell of a...
you too.
He probably does.
He does.
He only has about 10 fans. Nah, he's got more than that. We love you, Joe.
We're talking about Garrett Bischoff again, aren't we? Those are all his family members and his dad.
And they don't even like him.
No, I mean, hell.
I mean, maybe Dakota Darsa.
Yeah.
But that's after he repoed his gimmick.
Exactly.
But anyway, then we got, you go into the main event of the night, James Storm and Bully Ray.
Now, I would say that match was probably the 3rd best match this week in all of wrestling on television.
Another great match. TNA, for their credit, they're giving us the in-ring matches that we're not getting on WWE shows. They're giving us what wrestling fans want to see, which is wrestling.
Exactly. And the thing is, as far as TNA, the show this week was better than Raw.
Oh yeah, by far. Raw was one of the worst Raws that it's been in as long as I can remember, probably.
Yeah. I think we'll get into that next week. I think that for them, though, the 3 hours is killing it.
Yeah, but TNA stepping their game up. Ever since they went live, it's been solid show after solid show. To me, this show dipped a little bit, but it's still better than it was 6 months ago.
Oh, God, yeah. Because you know why? You know what side a guy's on. You know if they're a heel, if they're a face, if they're a tweener. You know what's going on. You know Joe's a tweener now.
There's more cohesion to it.
Exactly. You know that Ken Kennedy or whatever the hell is going by there now. I always like Ken Kennedy. I always like the name.
Anderson.
I always still call him Kennedy.
Anderson.
Exactly. You know he's a face now.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's making sense. They're doing an excellent job. Besides the Claire Lynch bullshit and forcing Garrett Bischoff down our throat, they're doing an excellent job with that. And Bully got the solid win. He did the Bubba Cutter.
Exactly. And they even said on TV, but they had to switch it pretty quick to say the Bully Cutter. Because I'm sure Vince is like, oh shit, I'm writing this down there.
Yeah. That's going right onto the fucking counter suit.
Exactly.
But in Bully, between that and the beginning promo, I would say for TNA and other, he's our heel of the week. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd have to say. He is a top tier guy, and with this whole contract negotiation thing going on, and he's not happy with it. I think with the Aces and Eights going after him next week, I think what's going to happen is if they don't reach a deal sometime this week before Sunday,
boom,
out of here.
Attacking.
Exactly. Well, they've already said they're attacking him,
yeah.
But I think that will be the it factor for him.
The Bobby Roode?
Exactly. He's going to get to take the Bobby Roode.
But yeah, and speaking of the Aces and Eights, we had a couple of the promos. They look like a biker gang is what they were doing with the Ole Anderson voice box.
I'm sorry.
I am the Shockmaster.
Laryngitis. Maybe it's John Laurinaitis that's part of the Aces and Eights too. We didn't even think of that.
That's why he hit the Bubba Cutter.
Exactly.
Hey, you're on to something. But
John Laryngitis.
The thing about Aces and Eights, it's it's the same thing as Nexus, the same thing as the NWO, but it's getting over where Nexus didn't.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, what they're doing is the thing I liked about Nexus is they went right out and just created shit. Right. With these guys, they did it one time, and now they're just taking it easy. They're not doing it every week because you know what? You get tired of seeing the same shit every week. And they did it last week where they didn't even show up, no talk, no nothing. Just handed the cards over to Brooke. This week they're cutting some promos and saying they're going to be at the pay-per-view, which I think is a smart move.
Yeah. Even if they show up or not, it gets people to watch the pay-per-view.
That's
because you want to see what's happening. And I really like where they've been going with that. I mean, I think that it's their biggest angle right now, and it's the one I like the most. Mm-hmm. And TNA is, like I said, it's firing all cylinders. It's the best TNA's ever been. It's probably overtaken SmackDown as the second best show, and for this week, overtaken Raw. It's been the best show on TV wrestling-wise. Mm-hmm. But consistently, it's better than SmackDown, and it's probably hitting 50% better than Raw now. Mm-hmm. At least for the past few months.
Exactly.
And you got great characters, and a guy that's missing off the show, who's an awesome character, just started his own show Sunday night. You got the Eric Young, and I know this isn't wrestling related, but Eric Young is a wrestler, so we can bring it on our show. Plus, it's our goddamn show. We'll talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. I liked it. I was very entertained by the show, and I will wait till next week and I'll watch the next episode.
And I don't watch fishing shows. The last thing I watched was Crocodile Hunter,
exactly.
Steve Irwin, and it's
the thing is with the show I like is he brings his Eric Young gimmick to the show.
The thing is it a gimmick though? Is that how?
Honestly, I don't know. Eric Young seems like a guy that'd be like, hey, you guys want to go hang out?
Yeah. And
I would hang out with Eric Young. Eric Young just seems like one of them guys that would just.
To plug it, the name of the show is Off the Hook Extreme Catches, and it comes on Sunday nights on Animal Planet. Animal Planet. This week they did 2 episodes for the debut. I don't know if they're going to...
I think it's 2 every week.
It's going to be 2 every week, kind of like like Storage Wars has 2 new ones every week.
It's going to be like 2 episodes back to back. And honestly, like I said, it was one of the more entertaining reality shows I've seen this week. Actually, it's probably the most entertaining reality show I've seen this week.
It's probably the only entertaining reality show we pushed.
Yeah.
And, kudos to Eric Young, branching out, getting a bigger name. I would say if he wasn't such good friends with Jeff Jarrett, he'd probably be on Vince's radar right now.
I know he's on Vince's radar. He has to be. He's that good. He's what he lacks in in-ring ability, which he doesn't really lack a lot.
No, he's a good solid worker.
He's a solid worker. He just plays the jobber role a lot from back in the day.
And it's a great show. And then speaking of shows, we did a brand new show the other day, the DVD review, and we gave you guys an option on what the next DVD you wanted to see was us review. Now, right now we're at a stalemate. We got the same number of votes for both. So the next person that votes, I don't care who it is, I don't care what you vote for, the next vote wins. Now you can either go for Gary's pick,
the NWO Back in Black,
or my pick, 20 years too soon, the superstar Billy Graham story. Next person, next vote, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, is going to be the winner. So make your choice. Which one you want to see us review?
Great movies.
Both DVDs.
Well, they're DVDs.
Documentary.
Docudramas.
There you go. And and that's going to be our next thing. And basically, that's all I have for this week. Anything you need to add?
I think we covered it all. Like I said, I just think that this show was way more solid than Raw, way more solid than SmackDown, and catch Eric Young's fishing show. I couldn't plug it up. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I don't even like fishing that much. It was a great show. He's an entertaining guy. But anyway, that's we're getting a little bit long here. This has been Heel Heat for the week.
We're getting a little test along the tooth. Remember the test?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Well, this has been Heel Heat, our TNA show, TNA and other show for the week. I'm George Coles.
Gary Rhodes.
You guys have a good day.